Welcome to the A to Z Golfing Podcast presented by AM Golf Trips. Follow the entire 2023 season at both AM Golf Trips and swagseries.com with Andy Cezanne. I'm Anthony Zampano. Andy,
Yeah.
first time out to Torrey Pines. We've all seen it on TV. It was super cool to follow some of the stuff and see the placards and see all the different stuff from US Opens and Farmers Insurance Opens, but I couldn't have thought of a better place to start the swag series than Torrey Pines. Your thoughts on Torrey Pines altogether?
It was a great experience. The weather, we could have had a little bit better weather to start us off there, but um, when it opened up, we were able to see, with the landscape, I always like the landscape stuff, the ocean, everything that was fantastic. Seeing the parasailers, paragliders, whatever,
Paragliders?
paragliders, yeah. Seeing those guys out there, and then the course was in pretty good condition, even with all the rain that we had going out there. Yeah, like you said, I couldn't think of a better spot to start the whole season off at a iconic spot like Torrey Pines. What were your thoughts on the course?
Well, first, I'll go back to the weather. I know that you're a very high maintenance individual. I've been around you for many years. I thought the weather was it's what it is, right?
Yeah,
It's a golf tournament. Um, you got to get out there. You got to play it. Everyone's playing in the same conditions. Of course, I wish it would have been a 75-degree and bright sunshine day, but sometimes you don't get that in Southern California. So I like to look on to the other side, kind of like what happened at Whistling Straits. We got to experience something that is being experienced a lot this year down there, but a lot of people don't get the chance. The property for me, I didn't get to see as much of it as you did. I did get to go around. The ocean holes are fantastic. For me, looking over where we stayed and walking out through 18 and just seeing like some of the spots that people had hit golf shots from in there under the circumstances of US Opens, or like Tiger's wedge that he hit from the right rough and got it to spin on the front right. I thought that was fantastic. It's a beautiful facility. It was really cool to see how many local people came out from the event who hadn't even played there before, right? Like, so I
right.
thought that was like a really cool part of that, and hearing some of their stories about living there for 5 years and 10 years and never being able to play it. But the golf course itself showed itself through the scores, right?
Yeah,
We've been huge advocates on putting this together, monitoring handicaps, keeping our eyes on it, making sure that we follow people's gins along the way, and making sure that any adjustment needs to be made so that we could have a fair, competitive tournament. And when
yeah,
you look at the gross champions shooting even par, absolutely fantastic. And you've got the net champions that shot six under par. So
right.
relative to what we normally see out there and what we observe from other groups that, let's just say, are a little bit more lenient on what can be done. I thought for the first event, I thought it was perfect what we've done in preparation for it. And I know you've done a lot of the preparation, so maybe you
Yeah.
could add something to it.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing is I basically have to monitor the gin numbers, handicap numbers, and then if the other facilities that give handicaps, I got to let people know, hey, we can't take it from that one or this and that. It's not, I'm glad that you paid your money for the year, but it's not USGA regulation handicap, and it's the only way we can keep this thing as fair as possible is just keeping the handicaps that we can't track off the board for us.
Yeah, and I think it goes along the lines of, I'm sure by now we've been promoting all this for 3, 4 months, and everyone has read either an email or gone onto our questions that we're asking. But behind the scenes, we do a lot to make sure that the integrity of the event follows suit. Right? We do not want to have similar occurrences that you see people out there shooting 56s and 57s, and we try to hold everybody accountable. That's why we give people the opportunity to fill out their own stuff. We give people the opportunity to update their own stuff. And this was a prime example of it. I think there were a few people that didn't have handicaps,
Yeah,
and
they were
we
like a
talked to them personally, and they were okay with our rules that we have in place.
yeah, a
And this
20
is
and a
what you're going to get.
16. Sorry, I didn't mean a 20 and a 16 didn't have USGA handicaps and had to say you're playing at a zero, and they were okay with it. They knew it going into it that they didn't have it, and so they played at a zero.
Yeah, and I really like that. And I mean, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of just strictly talking about that.
Yeah,
From everybody who played, it's a protection thing, right? We have to protect everybody. It's the same that gets thought. We put the same amount of time and effort into that as we do as to course preparation, tee boxes, the giftings for stuff, how thing is going to be laid out from prizes for first, second, and third. So I mean, to see Christian and Mike win in the gross division, we've kind of followed the leaderboard towards the end. There were a couple teams that had opportunities to get to the 1 under mark or stay
yeah,
at a 2 under mark, and you watch them fall off, whether it's for nerves or just how the course played. But was really excited for them. It was really excited for Nate Mock
yeah.
and Brad Strzelik. I mean, they got locked out of their rooms, so they
Right.
they weren't technically paying attention to what was going on, and then they showed back up and they had their swag series t-shirts on, and it was just like a fitting moment. I think they went from being very scrambled and rushed around to, hey, we need your photos for trophies.
Hey,
So
hold this
I know you
trophy.
were there, so
Yeah, I was talking a little bit to Brad when he first got off, and he was disappointed because they just bogeyed a hole to then fall out of kind of the first place spot on it. But they didn't realize that the people in the first place there won the gross, so then they got knocked out and they were the winners. So it's kind of he was like, "Wait, what?" And he was like that general enjoyment because he just thought that he just lost the tournament to then winning the tournament. So that was fun to watch that. But I was like, well, don't tell Nate yet. Let's make sure that it comes in and finalizes everything.
yeah, so it'll be good. Those are our first two teams that have earned the automatic qualifiers
Yep.
to the national championship. So it'll be good to see both of those teams down at Big Cedar Lodge. Some of the other takeaways from the event that I really liked was, and this is what leads into every single event going forward is, you know, we put together the swag box for all the players. You're getting some head covers that we've obviously been promoting out there that you will.
Mhm.
I'm so intrigued to see the
Yeah.
next event, the next event, right? It keeps going on and on, the differences between the boxes as it relates to the location that you played in. Like I said earlier, a lot has been put into the stuff behind the scenes. And this is one of those things, right? That excitement level. And for anybody out there that's thinking that you're getting the same thing from Torrey Pines that you're going to get at Turning Stone, well, you know what? You just got to wait, let the nerves build up, and let the level of excitement come out. We're not going to let you know what it is, but as the year goes on, I think it's going to become more and more fun. We obviously have seen a few of the foreseeable future stuff, and they're going to be pretty cool. So that's like one of the coolest parts about it for me is making the boxes and having everybody come up to us and what's your team name? What hole are you on? Here's your
Yeah.
box. And then seeing them walk away and be able to go through that with their partner, because that's really why they're there, right? They signed
Right.
up. They want to play a little competitive golf. They want to get a little bit of swag, and I couldn't have asked for more with how it started.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, we had a really early start there at 7 a.m. shotgun. That was just the course, but that one. So the rest of them will have a little more time to, kind of talk to people as they're arriving and everything. This one was a little bit more. We had to get going, but I think that's the only one like that this year, and we'll have a lot of fun. It's just the beginning right here.
Yeah, one of the other things, obviously, everyone is seeing it out there or has seen it out there. I mean, you talk about the ability not only with the prize of winning the national champ or getting the entry to the national championship, but at the same time, you got the black bag mystery box par three
Right.
contest. You had a skins game pot of 1,800 in each division,
Right.
3,600 total. You're putting on something, and that was just for that amount of players. I mean, we're talking about events later on. Weekapaw has more players. Texas Rangers does. You've got Olympia Fields that's
Olympia
going to be
Field.
going on. So
Yeah.
you start to look at some of this stuff for the teams that play well, and even for the teams that go out there and might be struggling a little bit, but they get themselves in an opportunity to make an eagle. You could win $500, $600. And I think that's another element to this that really goes along with what we're trying to do is that you have all these other like little contests going on. And it was really cool to see handing out all that cash.
I mean, not even just that. I mean, look at what we had here on the Casa de Campo hole 8 there. We had Miss
Mm-hmm.
Katie Park hitting a hole in one, winning herself a trip for two to the Dominican Republic. I mean,
Yeah.
what?
I mean, you could.
How do you
We
do
got
that?
out there. We got out there, and I mean, there might be people that are will object to this comment, but the shot was playing it past the hole. It was a front flag stick. You were going to play it past the hole. You could bring it back a little bit. If you came up, 15 feet short, it was going to catch that little false front on the fringe, and it was going to roll down a little bit. But for her to land it just on top, and then for it to one hop directly into the hole, it it just adds to more of the story about you pick a hole because you want it to be a great contest hole, and the
Right,
eighth hole is a great contest hole, and then for it to still happen and to see her excitement at the awards when we got to bring her up and we got to introduce it. She obviously got the skin, she got
right.
the trip, she got the recognition to see to see Sabrina from Tacoma and Claire Hogel, talking a little bit with her. It's just, you basically made an entire experience that she's never going to forget. It wasn't like she was just out there playing with her dad or with a friend. She got to experience it with everybody there, probably
Yeah,
what, 90 to 100 people
right.
plus the staff.
Yeah.
So amazing moment for her. I
And
know you got to talk to her a lot.
I
So
told her, I said, you know what? Don't worry about the bar tab. I'm gonna get the on the rocks to cover you for this one. So I think she was relieved after that part. After I said, don't worry, we got the drink bill for you.
yeah, and it's we have been talking about, and people out there have seen the events that we've done. I mean, this is all happening before the event, during the event, and then right after for the award ceremony, right? And a part of Torrey Pines was something really nice that was able to be set up with a little bit of lunch to where we could do the awards inside, and then those will vary throughout the entire
Mhm.
season. But once you're able to get those people off the golf course and get everybody off the golf course and bring them over to the putting contest, where now once again you introduce 80, 90, 100 people all together, bringing a community together, having fun, putting around, getting some people on the microphone, to see how the contest went, which will be very similar all year long, but to see somebody make three consecutive 25 footers,
I mean,
absolutely incredible. Andy got to spend some time with him standing over by the staff bag. I'm
yeah.
curious as to, I know what he said to me, Andy, but what did he say to you about it?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was talking to him about it, and he was just all excitement that he made to the third one. I don't think he thought he he felt good about the first two, and then the third one that went in, he couldn't believe that all three dropped in on him. I I mean, as a photographer, cameraman, I was rooting for it the whole time, obviously, and the whole group is. But the fact that it actually happened, I mean, that's just it was a tough little putt. I mean, it was 25 feet, little right to left, hard break at the end, and he
Mm-hmm.
drilled all three of them almost the same exact like going. I watched the videos like three times on it, and they all like kind of just died right in at the same exact spot on the right edge, right in the middle of it. It was fun to watch.
I loved it. I asked him after the third one. I was like, how many putts did you make out there today? And he was like,
Oh, yeah.
zero. And for somebody like me watching that, and obviously I'm on the microphone and I'm commentating and I'm trying to hype it up, but to see not only myself the excitement, but everybody else was just like, they were almost hoping that it would go another round, just so that they
Right.
could see like how many. And remember, this was the third round, so there was another participant that made two in a row as well. So
Yeah.
like this kept building up and building up.
He
And for
almost
anybody
made
that
that
was at,
third one too.
he almost made the third one. And for anybody that was like at Shadow Creek, very similar style. You make it, you advance. You make it, you advance. So we got all the way to three rounds. And I'm like I said, that was a big group. It'll be
Mhm.
really cool to see, like, as we go forward, as the groups get bigger and bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
how long that goes and how much that builds up, right? It becomes really cool. I mean, you had a couple influencers that were out there that were talking about it. They couldn't believe that he just kept making putts. And that interaction is really cool with everybody on display. And I also think that the putting contest for us has really evolved. I think it's a great sort of end of the competition part that we can bring everybody together, right? You're out there battling on the golf course, you come in, relax a little bit, you might be a little bit down on how you played, but you get to spend some time with the community and really hang out. Andrew was there, Frankie Ellingson was there, you had Chris Barker was there. They were going around and talking to everybody and really just a part of the moment and being together. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, and that's also why I like having. I just mentioned the OTR was there. I mean, that's fun. Everyone just relaxing, having a drink at the end, doing a putting contest. Not even care. Like the people out there were shooting, you know, 10 over, and they were still having a great time.
Yep.
Just with everything that was going on. But no, I mean, Torrey Pines was simply fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
all the staff there was fantastic too. I mean, that was one of the best takeaways. Was I had no issue with that. We asked someone for something, they got for us real quick or whatever we needed. So, kudos to the Torrey Pines staff.
Yeah, and from Torrey Pines, I'm sure everyone's following the schedule. It's off to Weekapaw. We'll be traveling out there next week. Really looking forward to the first couple days with AM Golf Trips. The trip that we're going to be taking out there is going to be really cool. Some familiar faces that we've seen over the years. Just getting to spend some time at the resort, hang out, sort of decompress.
Mhm.
For myself and Andy and I believe Andrew Schmidt and Adam.
Yep.
Um, Andrew will have gone to the first three events. I know that we're going to see him at Weekapaw and at Grande Lakes. Um, you know, the full field thing is great. We got a few more entries that came in for Weekapaw, I believe, to get it very close to selling out, or did sell out after the
Yeah.
Torrey Pines event. Um, I for anybody that is deciding whether or not to go to Grande Lakes, I would tell you right now that with so many winks of an eye, you should definitely get down to Grande Lakes. So, um, but looking forward to. I know Kenny McGinley's talked a lot about Weekapaw. Andy, few of the things that you've done through some of your observations of the Weekapaw that you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for. To be honest, I just sent Kenny a screenshot of the weather there, and I was like, "Does this mean I can wear shorts and a polo for our tournament?" I haven't. It's been a while since that's happened. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the weather, obviously. The course. I mean, every time I look at pictures of that course, I mean, I just want. I'm going to be there from sundown to sunset, just watching the whole thing. 'Cause I mean, I've never really been to in Arizona, so
So wait, hold
seeing.
on. You're going to be there from sundown to sunset.
That sounds
So
about the
you're
same thing, doesn't it?
I mean, if
Yeah,
you
you're
if
right.
you wanted to try to say it in
Sun up
three
to
different
sundown,
ways,
sun up
but
to sundown. I appreciate you
it's okay.
correcting
You're
me.
excited. You're
I
excited.
am. I'm real excited to get there. I've never been to Arizona. In fact, we're gonna be there for like 5 days, or I don't even know. I gotta look at the
Hmm.
calendar. Like 5 days. This one I've been looking for. This one I've had circled on my calendar for a little bit. I mean, we got the March Madness going on. We have the Final Four thing. We have the finals going on. I mean, it's not even just the golf. It's the camaraderie that we deal with before and after the round. I'm looking forward to all that part. What are you looking forward to for the Weekapaw trip?
I want to see the facility. Kenny has really pumped it up for the last long while since I
Yeah.
think we announced 2023's trip because the series events came afterwards. Um, so yeah, I really want to see the facility. I actually just got off the phone with them this morning. We were talking about the crates arriving and stuff like that, and just the hospitality alone over the phone. And I know that Rob has been dealing with some great people over at the casino and resort.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing about it is just the friendlier atmospheres and all that. When you deal with really great people, it just makes our jobs a lot easier, and it puts less stress on us to be able to bring you the best event possible.
Right.
So I want to see the facility. I'm not playing in the trip, obviously not playing in the series. I will be bringing batteries for the microphone. I think that's solidified for my job for the weekend, but just excited to get out there. It's I've never been off the beaten path of Scottsdale, so it'll be really cool to see. But I get to hang out with over 140 different people and just have a great time, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You lived for a little bit in Arizona, correct?
I didn't technically live there. I
Yeah.
I stayed a few months during the year out there and played a lot of golf. When I was much younger, there was a time and a place when I actually thought I was really, really good at golf and that I thought maybe I could actually do it, and realized that actually took 7-day dedication. So I
Yeah.
didn't really have that in my agenda.
Yeah.
Um, but it's a fantastic area. I mean, even from the times that I stayed out there for a few months during the course of like over 3 years, couple months every single year, it is so built out now.
Yeah.
It's so golf crazy. It is. I mean, I used to go out there before there was a Portillo's out there. And then I remember when they got Portillo's out there and everyone talked about how it's a 4-hour line in the Portillo's. Now I think there's like 4 of them out there. But, we talked earlier on an episode, I got to go out there for the first time for the waste management. It was cool. I got to do that with Kenny. This will just be another experience, right?
Yeah.
We love going to resorts. I wouldn't say that going to casinos is our niche, but it seems like we end up at a few that have also casinos. So, like I said, it's going to be sunny. It's going to be great weather. It's going to be around great people. Really looking forward to it. And I'm really looking forward to Florida. The more that I've looked into Grande Lakes down there at the Ritz-Carlton, it looks stunning.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get on that property and showcase that event. And I know that we're going to get a few more people to sign up here, which is going to be fantastic. And hopefully that me winking in this video is a little tipping point to tell people that they need to.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes. I think this builds momentum, right? I think people were asking at Torrey Pines if there's spots for Weekapaw. I think that you'll have people starting to ask, are there spots available for Grande Lakes? It's a snowball effect. The middle of the schedule is jam-packed with sellouts. So
Right.
if you're trying to get to an event or trying to justify an event, you might want to do it here at the beginning, or you might want to grab one of the last spots in the middle part of the schedule, because as people start booking their Golden Skull tickets to
Yeah.
Big Cedar.
By the way, you helped paint some of those, didn't you?
I just did the paint fill. So
Yeah.
I was nervous.
Pretty sweet.
I was shown how to do it over at Swag headquarters. So I tried to follow suit as best as I could. But
I mean, that's just pure metal. That was heavy. I mean, it was a heavy trophy. I'm gonna use that as a ball marker. I try to win one of these events and use a ball marker this size.
I loved them. I mean, when I saw them for the first time, I loved them. But then when I got to see people holding them,
Yeah.
and I think, like, if you really look at the Champions covers, there's some gold in there a little bit, the gold stitching, and it really brings it out. It's a really good, really cool piece. And I can't wait to hand out 4 more of them, and choice of your Champions head covers at Weekapaw and Grande Lake. So
Talking with Nate and Bradley, they were excited because they're playing Weekapaw also. And they said they can just go and have at it, have a good time, enjoy they already know they punched their ticket. Now they can go play probably even looser, and they might play better because they're loose on it,
They might
tournaments.
Yeah, they might be there. They might be there partying from sundown to sunset.
Well,
it's coined by the phrase. That's what I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be there with you. I think they're just going to be
from sundown to sunset. It's the
sundown to sunset, man. That's going to be the new one for you this year. So.
Oh, that was a rough one. I know it happens. I can't stop thinking of Portillo's now, to be honest with you. You brought that up, and now I'm thinking about it. It's Friday night during Lent. I'm going to go get a pepper and egg sandwich for the Friday night Portillo's. I mean, it's going to be a good day.
Well, I mean, if there was a sign off to begin with, I mean, there's a sign off to begin with. So we're gonna let Andy go and get some Portillo's.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing everybody out at Weekapaw, Grande Lakes, and in the future. And Andy, any last words?
No, we're just excited to see everything. We follow us on the A to Z Golfing Podcast on Instagram, on YouTube, and then AM Golf Trips on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Find us everywhere.
Awesome. Hopefully we're going to be able to get a live episode out at Weekapaw. Obviously, Andy hit on a little bit of the weather issues that we had at Torrey Pines, but looking forward to doing that out there. And we'll see everybody at an event this year.
Thanks, everyone.